The ancient Chinese believed that Earth, nature, and the cosmos were part of a harmonious natural order, the Tao, or path. The search for the right path, Taoism, is the second great stream of Chinese thought, a natural mysticism to set beside the practical common sense of Confucius. Not an alternative, but the other half of a necessary balance in life. The Pilgrim Path up the sacred mountain, Taishan, is a symbol for that search for the Tao. It's been walked for thousands of years by Chinese people, rich and poor, from the first emperor For so long, Western culture has seen nature in terms of control and exploitation. But for the Chinese, it is the source of all harmony and balance. They thought it was our duty as human beings, through art, religion, or science, to understand the harmony, not to abuse it or needlessly to change it, but to go with the force of nature, the yin and yang, as they would say. The little Daoist temple on the top of the goddess of the mountain was wrecked in the Cultural Revolution. It's now lived in again, not by actors, but by real Daoist monks and nuns who came back in 1985, committing themselves to the old way. In the end, said the Daoist sage Lao Tzu, all creatures return to their distinctive roots. These people are tourists from Taiwan. Their leader is a spirit medium well known on TV in Taipei. It's the kind of ceremony you can see in backstreet ancestor temples in the urban jungles of Singapore and Hong Kong. Now they're returning to commune again with the older ancestors. On the summit of Taishan, the pilgrims wait for the first glimpse of the dawn. It was up here that Chairman Mao proclaimed the East is red. But that was before his great leap forward turned the dawn yellow with pollution. The first emperor surveyed his kingdom from here as the sun rose. Now I've united the whole world. Confucius said simply, now I realize how small the world is.
To the Shandong Peninsula, there's a mountain called Laoshan, famous throughout China for its mineral water. It is also popularly believed to be the home of many of the gods and spirits that form part of Daoist belief. There are not many pure Daoists left in China. They are less conspicuous than the Buddhists because they generally build their temples in secluded places. One of the most famous is the Tai Ching Temple, halfway up Lao Shan. It is preserved by the government as what they call a cultural relic. It still has half a dozen Daoist priests in residence. They act as caretakers and guides, and when there's time, they practice their exercises and rituals. Daoism is uniquely Chinese and originated several centuries before Christ. The word Dao simply means the way of nature, which lies behind the universe. The Daoists believe quite literally in immortality. Their world is inhabited by spirits and ghosts, both good and evil. And they believe that by training the mind and body, it is possible for any man to lengthen his life, even eventually to become immortal. Those who want to light the lamp of longevity, they say, must learn how to fill the lamp with oil. They start each day with breathing exercises. They believe that by controlling the breath, the body can absorb the natural energy of the universe and become physically rejuvenated by it. Master Kuang claims to know Daoists who have achieved such perfection they have lived to be over 200 years old. His own progress towards immortality, he says, has been impeded by the demands made on his time by administrative work. But he's active enough for an 86-year-old. He practices swordplay and shadow boxing, trying to let the energy of nature flow through him and fighting the evil spirits that lurk within and outside the body. The Daoist view of nature is that its energy comes from a balance of opposite forces, which they call yin and yang. Opposites like night and day, female and male, winter and summer. The harmonious balance that is life lies in the continual interaction of the two. This sense of the equilibrium of life has become fundamental to the character of the Chinese in general. They admire patience and moderation. They tend to be flexible. They aim for the balance that they see in nature.